Yeah, Ronnie Ward. Yeah, from the Ditmas section of the Flatbush neighborhood, Brooklyn, in the city of New York. Yeah, well, I searched that reference number. Yeah, well, off of the earlier video. Yeah, well, for the sake of continuity, it's oh God, can we? It was. Yeah, for sake of continuity, it's 1:41 on Sunday, April 14th. So, well, I searched this term, so now I'm gonna do the term. Yeah, so this is the term. It's 0DA03D7RDX. That's the search term. It is. So anyway, so I'll search it again. I searched the world over and thought I found true love. You met another and you were gone. So here's the choices for it. Yeah, all this comes up. When you just search for this, all this does. Yeah. ODP Business Solutions. 1-inch hard drives. TI-COM. Yeah. Datasheet. Oh, God. Yeah. Semantic. IDS, yeah. Body double row IDC socket. USB 3 hard drives. YouTube 3 months ago. IBM ThinkPad. Viewer donation. Get the answer. Yeah, get the answer. Get the answer you're looking for added to the web. Your question will be shared with online publishers who may be able to answer it. When shared, it won't be associated with your Google account. What's your question? Make sure you don't include any private info. Learn more by submitting a question you couldn't find the answer to. You can help Google and publishers learn what info is missing from the web. Google will analyze your question and share it with publishers who may be interested in answering it. That means the next time you search for your question, you might find a new page with the answer. Please note that Google doesn't write or control the content on web pages you find through search. Because these questions are shared with publishers, please make sure you don't submit any personal info such as your phone number, email address, or credit card number that you wouldn't want shared publicly. Got it. Got it. So, well, let's do, that was all. So here's the shopping category. Shopping. Yeah, Amazon Prime member benefits, sale. These are what comes up in shopping. I'm not going to click on all these, but this is what is in the shopping tab. Raydu, Diamond Star, okay, there's just a lot of shopping choices that do come up when you search for that. 2 pages. 2 pages worth. Buy now. Yeah, that's the shopping tab. So let's do the images tab. Here's some images. V12RDD Clear Com. Yoshimura. Whatever. Electronic stuff. Yeah, well, here's 1 page of those. Oh, here's this. Oh, Western Digital 4003F ZEX. Whatever. Honeywell. Videos. IBM ThinkPad, IBM. This video is either unavailable or not. So let's look at these. So this is, there's two. So let's look at this. Laptop Retrospective.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Laptop Retrospective, and today I'm just going to be narrating over the footage for the first half of this video. So this is actually a ThinkPad 385, and I already have done a video on one of these, so why do another one? Well, this video is actually a donation that I was specifically reached out to and was asked if I would take. And when you take a donation, especially for a machine you've already covered, it's a bit different because you're not taking the donation to film it, you're taking the donation to be the caretaker of it. Someone has obviously seen what I've done, and they feel that this machine's next step of life would not be bad if it was with me. And that is a very humbling experience, and it's one that I'm very grateful for, because this is actually a machine that's got quite a bit of history, and I got permission from the donors to share that bit of history, and this could become a thing where I do take on a couple of machines that I've already filmed, and there's stories behind the machines. And you all know that obviously I love a good story behind a ThinkPad. You've seen the Think Design story series. But there's also the stories of the people that actually actively use these machines and what they do with them. And I think that that's a very important thing to consider as well, because what makes ThinkPads great is not just the machine, but the people that are behind the machines and what they use them for. And that could be something very simple, like using it to type papers or to do office work, or it could be because they were strapped to the International Space Station. By the way, I don't have any machines that have been in space or anything like that. That would be a bit much. But the point that I'm trying to make is that these machines are made greater by what the creators create on them. It's not just the machine itself. So what you see here is just some background footage of the very minor restoration work that I did to this machine, which essentially was just cleaning it up a little bit, removing some dust, very little dirt, and then obviously replacing the cat tongue track point so it was ready to go and be used again. So there's no super special cleaners being used here, mainly because I'm being very careful with the finish and the paint, and because there's very little to actually clean. The individuals that had this machine in their care kept it in very, very good condition, and you'll hear me talk more about that later. So the primary thing that I'm using to clean this thing up with is actually just some very basic over-the-counter eyeglass cleaner. It's essentially a mild soap and water solution, which if you read pretty much anything technical is what's recommended for cleaning these components. Now obviously if you're cleaning anything sensitive or electrical, you're going to use different solutions like isopropyl alcohol, and you'll do your homework on how to clean it and all that good stuff. But without any further ado, let's dive into getting this thing up and running and a little bit of the history behind this particular unit and what it was doing before it became into my possession. Well folks, I'm happy to report that this thing is finally up and running, and now that it is, I wanted to give a huge thank you to the people that donated this machine to me. So this was donated by Hope Schulz, and Hope Schulz is actually the son of a Dr. Robert Schulz who bought it when he was doing his master's degree in history at Western Illinois University. So he had practiced being a dentist for over 25 years, chose to indulge in the academic passion, and even though he was practicing and a parent in his 50s and 60s, pressured him into become a professional. So anyway, he wrote all of his papers on this and was especially a fan of the track point in the middle of the keyboard, and he bought it after seeing a ThinkPad that Hobe bought in his last years of college. So Hobe had a thinner model at the time that had an external CD-ROM drive, but his father purchased this. You have to understand that Dr. Scholl's introduction to computers was punch cards at the Marquette University in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Their first family computer was a Commodore VIC-20 with a cassette drive, and pretty much this remained the favorite for Dr. Scholl's. And I wanted to share that with you because this has history, it has meaning, it has people attached behind it, and it's pretty clear that it was well loved because my restoration efforts were pretty minimal in the sense that I swapped out the track point cap and did a little bit of cleaning up. And there is a compact flash to IDE drive in there, and it works. The image has been restored, and I have not looked ahead of this, so I can't wait to see what a factory image for this device is going to look like. This is very exciting. We shouldn't need the CD anymore, and this image was actually acquired from archive.org, so if you're looking for images for old ThinkPads, check there first. And we're booting. This is really exciting. Now the compact flash drive setup should provide slightly better boot times than factory. From earlier clips, you might have noticed that I did try an M-SATA drive kit in here, but it just would not work. The extractor kept failing on the recovery image. I even tried burning the CD multiple times with no success, but this worked the first time I tried it with the compact flash. It is worth pointing out, of course, that this is the first time that this boot has occurred, and it looks like we have some regional settings. So originally this was an American device, but it's in Canada now, so we'll so let's set our regional settings. Alright, everything is working. Let's try this ThinkPad 385 presentation.
It's making me really tired. You know, I'll just say, It's making me exhausted right now. I'm exhausted at this moment. I was practically falling asleep. Yeah, I was. Just now, I was. Yeah, I was. This playing on here. It was. I was. Yeah, I was. Yeah. You can barely hear it, though. You can barely hear it. But anyway, it's almost over. It's just a few minutes left, I guess. I don't know. It's 13 minutes and 31 seconds long. Yeah. Doesn't play very loud. It's not very loud. I don't know why I can't hear it better than that. God.
The IBM ThinkPad. It's small enough to fit in your briefcase, affordable enough to suit your budget. The ThinkPad. For home, for work, for travel. It gives you the performance and quality you demand. At an attractive price you'll appreciate. Want to learn more? Select a topic. See what makes ThinkPad a better place to think. Say hello to the notebook computer that's got it all. Cool screen. Hot sound.
My God.
Neat keyboard.
I can barely stay awake.
Great software.
What the hell is that?
Lotus Smart Suite. And all at an incredibly affordable price. It's the IBM ThinkPad. That's real value. Think about it.
I don't know.
Alright, so this is pretty cool that the whole thing is intact. And we can return to the presentation, password protect this, presumably if it was in a store. But it's really cool to see this whole thing operating as it would have come out of the box. And yeah, really, really cool to see. So there's registration, IBM Network, which obviously doesn't work anymore. IntelliSync, Lotus Smart Suite is here, and it looks to be intact, which is pretty cool. We got Quicken Financial Solutions, Fax, Rand McNally, like all sorts of goodies. Let's, yeah, so looks like the full version is in here. That's pretty slick. And then under ThinkPad, I'm guessing fuel is going to tell me about the battery, which is probably flat. So here's the ThinkPad configuration screen, which, if I recall correctly, Dr. Ted Selker had a fair bit to do with designing one of the original components of this interface, where it shows you the computer, and then you click on these things, and it will tell you about it, the properties, and there's all little arrows so you can actually see all of the things that you need to do. So if you weren't super clear on how to navigate things, this was pretty handy to work with. So overall, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really glad that I have this restored and in factory condition. Thanks again to the Shoals for sending this to me.